welcome to Loose Lips, CTV's new show for women. I'm Vanessa Wells, and joining me tonight on the panel is Jax Hamilton. Ooh. How are you, Jax?
I'm really good.
What have you been up to lately?
All sorts of things. I have to tell you, though, on a slow boat from Italy, I've been planning my kitchen, my new kitchen. But
yeah, we've been hearing about that.
My new fridge, although from Italy, Smeg Union Jacks just slotted into a little hot hole yesterday.
How
when
exciting.
he went to plug it in, it had an Italian plug on it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Quick, get the electrician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of Jack's electrician and the man that delivered it. We got it together, you know, we did it. It's great.
Oh, look, I'm actually going to have to come around and have a little look because I think it's going to look fantastic.
First thing in there, bottle of wine.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good priorities. Now, also on the show tonight, our first special guest is the cheeky court jester, Kirsty Gillespie. Welcome, Kirsty. Now, Kirsty, you may well recognise Kirsty. She is an ex-CTV presenter of the show Marketplace. She also used to run the tally station for a wee bit, so she's an ex-station manager. She's an ex-teacher. She is an ex-wife, although she's currently taken. And she is a very current performer and manager of the Court Jesters. She works with me in at the Court Theatre, which is marvellous. So thanks very much, Kirsty, for coming along.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm quite interested in this Italian plug that you've got.
Have you got a use for one?
I was more interested in the wine.
Oh, well.
Oh, exactly. Now, leading on, wine is a very good introduction for Sue White from The Breeze, as well as another old CTV face. Welcome back to the fold.
Thank you very much.
And you do enjoy a good wine every now and then, don't you?
Just a couple, yes. Just quietly. Whoops.
That's all right. We're very open here. You can discuss
we
these
can be real.
things.
You're
Yeah.
over 18.
Yeah.
Only
real.
just, only just. Yeah.
I'll
Now,
drink to that.
first of all, on Loose Lips tonight, I would like to discuss a very hot Christchurch topic. It's upset a few people. Over the last week, Christmas was actually cancelled. So the city councillors originally voted in favour of ditching the Christmas decorations. I believe it was a bit of a discussion, a bit of an argument over it. What they saved was $55,000. Fortunately, CityCare has come to the rescue and saved Christmas. So with the council desperate to save money, we asked ratepayers if they had any other cost-cutting ideas.
Further amalgamations of local authorities. So, for example, Selwyn and Waimakariri come into Christchurch and it's all be done with one.
The Ellerslie Flower Show, I think that had to go.
Quite a difficult one. How are they going to save it when they haven't got enough to go around now? So it's going to be pretty difficult for them, isn't it?
Cut down the number of major projects that they're doing.
Maybe taking a lot of pay rises when they shouldn't, you know, just cut back on, because, you know, at the end of the day, they do feather their own nest really half the time.
Yeah, we want to have a beautiful city, but at the same time, we don't need to be spending obscene amounts of money on architecture and whatnot.
We've been whacked enough on their rates, but hey, user pays, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, they did have quite interesting ideas, and Sue and I were just chatting about that just then as well. So you know a little bit about how CityCare, because a lot of people think of CityCare as being the council. So well, what's the deal?
Exactly, because I was thinking, well, hang on, isn't this the council paying themselves? So I did the research and went to the homepage of CityCare, which is what you do. So it is, according to their bit, council-controlled trading organisation. It is nationwide, fully owned by Christchurch City Holdings Limited. And I thought, who the heck are they? Because Vicky Buck and a lot of our city councillors are actually Christchurch City Holdings Limited.
Right.
So it is a commercial investment arm of the City Council, so it is part of the City Council, but what happened is back in about 1999 the council decided that they wanted to run their assets as more of a commercially viable sort of business.
Yeah.
So whereas the council has to be all about the people, whereas if they put these assets into this holding company and then ran it as a more of a commercial viable business, then they could have a justification to get more money from those assets.
Well, and actually I'm assuming that CityCare are doing pretty well at the moment
Yeah,
too.
so they absolutely are. So
Yeah.
that's how it is still part of the council but not part of the council, and why you've got councillors still on it is because it's the investment arm.
So it's important then that they do stump up because they're obviously making a profit and being run commercially. I was thinking that really with Christmas, should it not come back to a wee bit of the community? Should we not be, you know, stepping out down to the local dairy and stringing up a few lights around, or, you know, taking ownership for it a bit more? Would that work?
I thought the idea of decorating some road cones, so they're still fit for purpose, but, you know, something that embraces what Christchurch is about, because, to be fair, you can't really drive down streets and look at, admire the lights, can you? And I think the council were a bit damned if they did and damned if they didn't. I mean, put rates up and then also spend money on something that's regarded as frivolous. So I think
And Jace, your heart would break if you didn't have like. I mean, if you think about London and Christmas, when the whole place just goes nuts.
Does that mean on Christmas Day I'm going to open my door and there's going to be Jerry Brownlee in a red hat giving me a Christmas cracker to pull, which would be terrifying. Is as far as it's going to go. Because what about the morale of poor people from Christchurch? You know, they're taking away something else, just something else and something else.
Well, the other interesting, sorry, Vanessa, bit was that there were actually some other private companies that actually jumped in and contributed as well. So they might actually now have a surplus, which is the bit I like, is that if there is a surplus, they're going to use it.
So you can do the road cones.
No, but they're going to donate that to families in need.
Right, OK, well, that sounds good.
Now, you just pictured quite a strong image there, Jax, with making that's now burned in the back of my brain.
Proudly in a red suit, yes.
But I would like to move the discussion onto image, because I think, you know, image is something that's huge for women. And
Jerry Brownlee's huge.
Oh, and she said it. Oh, she did.
And this is the segue.
What a pity this isn't pre-recorded.
Well, now look, there's a photo on the screen just at the moment there of the amount of focus there is on dieting and image and everything else. I mean, that's a pretty good sort of indication of a pretty stock standard sort of a photo.
Yeah.
Did you know that in the UK that they did this study and they worked out that for yo-yo dieters living in the UK, that on average they try 15 weight loss plans over their lives. Wow. They spend over $7,000 on gyms, fitness gear and goods. And over the entire life, a whopping $210,000 trying to stay, and often failing, to stay in shape.
Wow. And a lot of that stuff just gets stored under the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not sure. I know for sure that I'm not spending $210,000, you know, on it. Do you guys spend any money on dieting? But honest question, it's a bit tricky.
It is. You know what? With diet, it's got die in the middle of the word. I hate that word. I really do. I mean, I've always had a bit of a Kardashian bottom, I have to say. I have to keep that in check.
It's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Kirsty. Looking behind there. But I'm a bit of a gym bunny, so I really enjoy going to the gym. But you know, for me, that's a bit of a lifestyle.
Yes.
Every single week, I do something, whether it's walking or... I'm not really a dieter, but I've always had these big bones. As well, I put it in heavy hair.
But I
don't believe in dieting. Right. I just believe in everything in moderation. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't own scales, and I've never dieted. Actually, when I thought about it once, I had a dream about a chocolate biscuit, and so...
Just the one dream?
Well, yeah, so I don't spend any money on diets or gyms or things like that. I go for walks.
Okay, well, I'm one of your statistics.
Yeah, really?
And just recently, I went
So where does the money get spent? Does it get spent on, like, the books to learn about it, or the food supplements?
The one I've just done, which I actually have lost 8 kgs, which I'm kind of pleased about.
That's quite substantial.
And it's actually now, it's lasted for a year now, which has been great. So having done it was a program that actually reset your metabolism. So for me, it worked. But the problem with yo-yo dieting, and this is what I learnt going through this program, it was called TR90, which is Transform 90 Days, was that with yo-yo dieting, the problem is that most people, when you lose the fat, you're also losing some lean muscle mass at the same time. So then when you go back into your normal habits, you haven't got that lean muscle mass. Right. Now, lean muscle mass is what burns calories.
Yeah.
So when you've got less of an engine than when you go back onto your normal diet, the engine's smaller, it's not burning as much, and that's why you put on more weight.
And
you need to focus on getting the engine.
So do you spend money on a gym as well?
No, I was just doing an exercise program that was part of this TR90 sort of program. It was doing an exercise thing as well, but it actually focused on building your lean muscle mass, so that resets your metabolism.
Well, I tell you what, this whole image and fitness thing is massive. Stay with us. Coming up after the break, we're going to discuss image a bit more. Welcome back. Next up, we're talking about the perceptions and impossible expectations that the media and society place upon women to be perfect. Little girls, from the word go, are often viewed as delicate and pretty. And we're talking a lot about the language here. But our parents inadvertently sending the message to these girls that they're incapable by placing importance on appearance from an early age rather than on what girls think and what they do. How can we expect girls to believe that they have anything more to offer their world than their beauty? So there was this US advertisement, and a lot of people have seen it on Facebook recently, and it highlights the impact of gender stereotyping on young women, citing statistics that reveal that 66% of 4th grade girls say they enjoy science and maths. Now, 4th grade, that's about sort of years about age 8 or 9, and then only 18% of all university engineering majors are females. What has happened in between?
Who's my pretty girl? 9, 10, 11. Sammy, sweetie, don't get your dress dirty.
Sam, honey, you don't want to mess with that. Let's put him down.
Samantha, this project has gotten out of control.
Whoa, hey, careful with that. Why don't you hand that to your brother?
Our words can have a huge impact. Isn't it time we told her she's pretty brilliant too? Encourage her love of science and technology and inspire her to change the world.
I really like that catchphrase about being pretty brilliant. I think that's really, really
Nice phrase.
important. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we actually all had a bit of an audible gasp when it's like, hand that to your brother.
Yeah.
Has that actually happened to you?
I always wanted to be the person that got to back the jet boat.
Yeah.
Because backing a trailer is an art, and it was always assumed that the boys could do it, but we were never given the keys, and so I always made a point of getting in there and being able to back the trailer.
How many brothers have you got?
One.
One brother, yeah, so it was either you or your brother.
He was a lot younger, so he actually probably never got the keys if I was around. But
right.
Cousins, and you know what it's like being on
Fighting
holiday.
for it, yeah.
Yeah. And I I hated the idea that it was assumed that women couldn't do something simple and practical, which they're capable of.
So you backed the trailer?
Yes.
I
can back a trailer.
Oh, I can't.
You know, I can tie like a wallpaper, can't back a trailer.
Oh, I can back a trailer.
I'll give you a
We only had 2 daughters in the house, so it was like,
I had 4 brothers. I've got 4 brothers.
Actually, my dad said we weren't allowed to drive the trailer until we could back it. So, whereas I do know people who will only be able to drive a trailer round the block in one direction.
I've had to do that.
Yeah. But it's important, you know. I mean, how often do we pick up the tools? Well, the flip side is though that sometimes at home Johnny will go, well, you can work the drill, you go and do it.
Yeah, well, see, this is what I'm saying. I mean, I do all the renovation work around home. Easy. I can hang a door, I can, you know, paint and stuff like that. So, you know, for me, it's just that spatial thing of trailers. So well done. But you know, it is a myth. There is no evidence that there is a math gene, you know, that boys get and that girls don't get. It's just ridiculous. But there is evidence that encouragement and practice actually gives you those maths and science skills, you know. So.
But then, so what changes between when you're 8 years old and you think science and maths are cool, to then only having 18% going on to university? I mean, this is obviously a bit of a drive to get girls into doing engineering degrees and things like that. But what's changed? What happens? I don't know. What do you think, Jax?
I don't know, but I feel really guilty because I just spent the weekend with my best friend and she's got 6 children, and I spent like a lot of time brushing the girls' hair because I don't have any daughters, and then playing rugby with Franklin because that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. But I think if I'd have sat him on my lap and tried to brush his hair, I think everyone would have gone, Jax, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? So I do fall into the stereotypes as well. I mean, I was doing it myself and I watched that and I thought, oh, I'm a really bad auntie. Am I?
Well, see, now I have a friend who is an engineer, and she's a woman. She's living in London and she's flying all over the world doing incredible stuff and really mixing it in the world of men. She is so feminine. Kirsty, you know Annie. So, you know, and she would have loved having her hair done as well as. So why can we not have her hair done as well as?
But surely, I mean, it's up to the kids as well. I mean, my girl, who's 18 now, she's never been a pink girl, never been a girly girl. And in fact, now at 18, she's about to go and be on a dairy farm and she wants to become an artificial inseminator. So, you know,
so that's
like mother, like daughter.
I don't know where that's going. But from the age of 2, I started off doing that whole pink thing, and I feel ashamed now. From the age of 2, she just was quite clear, that's not me, and she was able to put her foot down and say, that's not me now.
So that's great. You've been a great mum. If you can empower your daughter to have an opinion, and an opinion that's different to her parents, that's
well, you're
amazing.
a mum of a daughter. How did it go for you?
Well, you know, I got my daughter a modelling contract, so it's really bad. I'm exploiting my child. No, there's something she enjoys and something that she is good at.
This is what I'm trying to say. If it's what what they want.
If it's
That's
to
right.
the child.
And it comes back to the whole exercise and everything. We're all just pawns of our genes, really, aren't we? But we also have to have that passion and that love and that interest and do the thing that we enjoy doing, and that is going to give us a career and love
so
and
important.
passion. And
Yeah.
you know, when did you start cooking? And why?
I started cooking at the age
Was it
of 8.
expected of you?
Well, it was and it wasn't. I just loved the ingredients. I loved that you could take something out of the garden and turn it into something really beautiful. So I've always been cooking. Yes, you can.
Yeah, so you can.
So I've
And
always...
then you pour it on the wine.
No, I
But what's important with me is I spent my whole life doing other things, and then at the age of 40 something, I recognised that actually my passion was cooking. And then when I look at my boys, I think it's not about qualifications, it's about what they love. And about, you know, about supporting that, and just about just helping guide them to that place. Because you can spend a whole lot of time doing a lot of things you don't like.
And that's the thing too, is exactly what you're saying is, and you know, I'm sort of going through issues with my daughter. I sometimes feel that I haven't empowered her enough to do certain sort of stuff about recognising her feelings and her own strengths. You know, she still puts herself down, but I do it. So who am I modelling? I'm modelling it because I will say, oh, I'm not very good at backing trailers or whatever, and it was quite an unusual thing for me to actually say I can wallpaper or whatever. So I've modelled her to say, I'm not very good at doing this, I'm not very good at doing that.
I think language is really important.
Yeah, it is.
In the way that we frame our sentences, and the way when we do greet friends with daughters, and we go, wow, you're looking really pretty today. It's like, why are we not saying, goodness, you look super strong, or, show me your biceps?
Or what about, you know, the kids when you say to them, oh, you're looking lovely, and they go, oh, but I've got a bit of a muffin top or whatever. I mean, you know, but I do that.
So, and you can't unsay things, can you? Once they're said, you can't unsay them.
Yeah,
that's in it, that's there.
So we need to break that cycle somewhere and stop it. So.
Yeah. Well, talking about the cycle and breaking habits and things like that, the next part of the show we're going to be talking about image and the way that it's pertained through the media. We're going to be particularly looking at photoshopping. Healthy, unhealthy? See you after the break. Welcome back to Loose Lips. We're discussing perceptions and expectations that society place on women. These days, so many images in the media have been perfected with the help of technology, and that an unrealistic ideal of extremely thin and youthful women is represented across all sorts of media. They're all blemish-free, wrinkle-free, even pore-free, which doesn't even exist, but somehow, thanks to the wonders of Photoshop, they make it exist. This method is openly defended. It's openly defended by magazine editors and the media across the world. They think that it should stay. I'm not so sure. Let's just have a little look at this clip. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
I can't believe that transformation.
Yeah. She looks a bit startled though at the end, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's just not real.
So
Airbrushed.
that's how you and I could get tall.
I know. I
just
think it would be handy, wouldn't it? Can we Photoshop the segment, please?
The thigh bone was just lengthened by about 20%.
And the neck.
Yeah.
It kind of pulls their neck up.
What's the name of that singer that refuses to have any photoshopped photos in magazines? And in fact, I think she's actually sued somebody.
Lord, it was Lord, wasn't it?
It was Lord?
It was really unusual because when she tweeted the picture of her with the spots, because in the paper they'd portrayed her as his perfect skin, and obviously she's a teenager. Like, my son and all his friends were like, oh my God, she's really ugly. And I was like, no, that's what she really looks like.
She's really real.
Yeah, it's like, so you don't want to know her now. It's if she came to the door, because she had acne, and he was like, oh, wow.
And is that because every other image they see of any teenager is absolutely blemish-free?
That's right, which is terrifying.
My daughter keeps making comments about how at her school it's all about having a thigh gap.
What? I know, that's ridiculous.
A what? Have I got one of those?
You know, like if you're standing up straight,
the only
just a little V beneath your V, you know.
The only creature on this world that should have a thigh gap is a giraffe, for goodness sake.
Oh my gosh!
It's just ridiculous. Well, I don't know, I'm just...
Yeah.
Why is that so important? Then what do you put there?
Well, I think that what they're saying is that fruit and vegetables.
That is bizarre.
I think they're saying, obviously, that if you've got a thigh gap, you're quite skinny.
It's a slim.
Skinny legs.
Yeah, but then, you know, that's where she's starting to worry about that kind of stuff at that incredible age, because that's what they're seeing, because they're all being photoshopped out.
You're getting some celebrities like Emma Stone, the actress.
Yeah.
She refuses to have anything, you know, done on Photoshop as well, I think, and she actually sued a magazine when they did this big photo shoot, and she'd had a whole lot of work, you know, done digitally, and she actually sued them. I think it was the other one I was trying to remember.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So good on them. We need more role models like that.
Sometimes photoshopping can be taken too far, though, too. I think we've got a clip of something that actually went a wee bit wrong. Let's have a little look. See, now look at this one. This is ridiculous. And yet, of course, there will be people out there who go, oh, well, that's a real person. But they have cinched in her waist so much that it's just not even possible. And can you see the shape of the arm? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the arms.
it's different. They're different arms.
And, well, they've
Her bottom's not as good as yours, though, Jax.
Oh, thank you very much.
way.
And I'm a natural ginger.
She's been photoshopped for tonight.
Yeah, this is my real hair. You know.
Yeah.
I'm a ginger.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? This is what's really crazy. We're all sitting here with lipstick and mascara on. Hello.
Yeah, that's a natural enhancement, isn't it?
Is that different to enhancing what's real? I mean, it's still showing our cheekbones, and my thighs are still, and my arm is still that same length. You know, whereas they're talking about, you know, actually making dimensions completely. It's a whole other woman.
Well, we are see-through people. We want to look good and smell good and taste good and all the rest of it. And so you don't... Those
standards of beauty, though, are dictated by where we are at in history. I mean, you look at the likes of the Bohemian woman lounging in their paintings, the classics, and they're all voluptuous and gorgeous, and they've got bits. Bring back that, please.
Well, those gorgeous curves. One of the things I thought was quite interesting is when that little Photoshop clip started, is the very first image of her lying there, I thought she looked stunning. So why has it changed so much that, I mean, yes, she was made to look more stunning and more beautiful, but actually what was there originally was fantastic. So why aren't we...
I think it's really important that we're healthy. I want people that look healthy, and usually that's defined muscles and strong and bright eyes and a glow and nice teeth and, you know, those sort of things.
We do our own version of photoshopping, though. You do realise that if you have a bad photo taken and you say, no, tear it up, it's our own version of at-home photoshopping, sorry.
Well, and I suppose, you know, you take that selfie, but you make sure that it's on the right angle.
And you do it again until it's the right one for your profile.
It's like me telling the cameras to go back a bit, you know.
Oh, my goodness. I suppose we do, don't we? Yeah. But that's taking it to another dimension, really, isn't it? That girl there. Because that's what everyone sees on a daily basis when you buy a magazine. You see unreal images. Totally.
So what about then for the 19-year-old daughter or the 12-year-old daughter, then just looking at beauty magazines that are, you know, constantly unattainable figures? I mean, those figures, you could not become like that.
No.
You can't grow your thigh bone like that.
Well, I do say to Neve that, yes, she is an attractive girl, but it's most important that she's attractive on the inside. Because if she's a bitch, no one will, you know,
good point. Really good point.
And that's the truth of it. And people pay you a little bit of credence or heed if you are nice on the eye. But if you've got nothing there, there's no substance, if you've got nothing, no opinions, nothing to say, and you're not a very nice person to be around, then you won't have friends.
So it really is beauty from within, as Audrey Hepburn said, isn't it?
Yeah.
My mum would always say, go and impress a blind man, in her Jamaican wisdom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like that.
And that was how I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and impress a blind man and then you know you're somebody.
Absolutely. Oh, I think that's a fantastic saying to actually finish on. Can we say that? Thanks very much, Jax's mum. Look, thanks, guys, for coming along. It's been a great show. Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you, Kirsty. And thanks, Jax, for coming back.
Nice to see you all. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Vanessa. So it would be really interesting to hear what you think about photoshopping as well. You can join us on the Facebook page or leap onto the website. You can also see the show on demand as well. Loose Lips will be back next week. We'll see you then.